Hello, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the globe. Welcome back to this session. And this session we're going to be considering for our time the title Abraham's son. Abraham's son. We know that he has two sons. At the moment, we will consider Ishmael. Ishmael was his firstborn, and his mother's name was Hagar, an Egyptian, and a descendant of Ham. We see in Genesis chapter 16 and verses 3 and 4. And so, we see here that, and Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abraham, to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarah said unto Abraham, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. So we see here that Hagar conceived and bare a son, and called his name was called Ishmael. Okay, and so we also see here that Hagar was of the descendants of Ham, and probably from Mizraim, because she was an Egyptian, and we know that Egypt was considered one of Ham's sons' territory, and the name of the place was Mizraim. Okay, and so Abraham's name was changed in Genesis chapter 17, verse 5, and where he said there, neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many have I made thee. And then in chapter 21, verses 1 through 5, we see that Isaac was born. Isaac was born, he said, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said. The Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the time of which God our Elohim had spoken to him. And Abram called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah had bared to him, Isaac. And Abram circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100-year-old when Isaac was born unto him. So we know that Isaac was this younger brother to Ishmael, and Ishmael at the time of Isaac's birth was probably between 14 and 15 years old. Because we know that when Abraham became the father for Ishmael, he was probably between 84 and 85 years old. Then Isaac grew to be a man, and then married to Rebekah. And they had Esau and Jacob in 25, Genesis chapter 25, and verses 19 to 26 said, "And these are the generation of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Panadaram, and the sister of Laban, and Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord, our Yahuwah, for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahuwah was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahuwah, or of the Lord. And Yahuwah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the older shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, and all over like hairy garment. And then they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, or Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So we know that Isaac was about 60 years old when she bore those 2 boys. And we have a lot of conversations and arguments about who Esau was and who Jacob was. Because he said Esau came out red and hairy. And we know that based on the area where Esau lived, where he dwelt, and where his descendants dwelt, we know the name was changed from Esau. Later on, there were the Edomites. At one point, they were Mount Seir. And at one point, they had moved and lived down in the southern part of Arabia, somewhere in a general area. And then we learn that one moment the name was changed to Edom, and then they scattered in different places, and we understand that they had family members over in the Eastern Europe, and some people, some scholars also believe that the Roman people were part of descendant of Esau. Someplace down in the southern part of Palestine, though there was the people, the Paidean or Padians. We know that they had moved into Eastern Europe based on the family line. So they mix in with the Gentile people, and it is not so easy to differentiate some of them, even though the people in Eastern Europe have a different culture than the people in Western Europe. We know that. In the New Testament writing, when Yeshua was born, and they said the men came looking for him, the wise men came looking for him. They went to Herod the Great and was inquiring, and they said Herod was the last of the Edomite kings. So we know that for a period of time, the Edomite people were reigning in Rome or in that general area. Okay, so we know that Esau had his dwelling in the mountain area, it's called Mount Seir, where the descendant people, his family members, and all of some of them were the Edomite people. And we know that he also have some kind of mixed culture in his family, because one of his wives was also a Canaanite woman. Okay? Now, the sons of Jacob, he grew up, and you know the story how he went into Laban, his uncle, and stayed with him for a period of time, and was promised Rachel to be his wife, and then he worked 7 years for Rachel and got Leah, and then he had to work another 7 years because they did not give him Rachel, and so he had to work another 7 years for Rachel. We know the story, how, he cheated his uncle by doing some stuff to gain his cattle and his sheep and all that kind of stuff when he left there to go on his own. But we know that he has 12 sons, and Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Yehudah, Judah, Zebulun, Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, and Joseph and Benjamin. We know that Joseph was one of the tribe, but his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, they were what he referred to as two half tribes. So we know that he has 12 sons. We'll continue from here. Just remember to like and also subscribe to this session. Thank you. Bless you.